Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'll be going through a recent painting that I did that's a bit more of a personal piece. So I've gone with the title of Unbound, Unbroken, and it kind of plays along with these rules that we set for ourselves. So essentially the piece is about breaking those rules. So although we don't tend to think about it, we all do set these rules for ourselves. Things like we can't do this because we're scared, or I've never done it before, or I can't do this because I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it, or so and so. We're always setting these rules for ourselves that are preventing us from truly experiencing this thing called life. So this piece is about destroying those rules, pushing past them, and just doing what you're passionate about and what will make you feel good and getting the most out of life. So yeah, that's what this video is going to be about. So we're gonna get started. Thanks guys.
Alright, so let's get started. So I decided to work directly onto this masonite panel with oil paint. So as you can see, I kind of freehanded my sketch on top, and then I started going in with the oil paint. So I knew that I wanted to largely have a grayscale piece with this bright blue sort of pop of color of this crescent-shaped gem and the other smaller gem below. So that's kind of where I was going. So typically the way I work is I do lay in multiple tones for my sort of base layer, blending them together lightly as I go. And then when those are dry, I tend to go over top with details, and then once that's dry, I tend to adjust a lot more with glazes. I wasn't quite sure what specific look I was going to be going for with these crystals, so I reworked the surface a couple of times till I was satisfied with the end result. So in the end I kind of went with a crystal that has a strong light source coming from the top, and a lot of that light refraction happening inside is going to create these really nice sort of highlight and brighter spots towards the bottom of the crystal, and the top is going to be a nice saturated, rich, dark tone. So as you can see here, kind of going in on the next layer, detailing a little bit with some finer brushes. So this entire time I wasn't quite sure what I was going to be doing with the background, so I wanted something interesting and textural but wasn't going to detract away from the rest of the painting. So I decided to go with sort of the standard oil painting kind of style with a lot of linear lines and kind of a very, perpendicular manner. I really like the way this looks, so yeah, I thought it'd be suitable to add to this painting. I wanted that really nice sharp highlight in the lower portion of the crystals, so I got a palette knife, loaded up with some white and some light blue paint, and just kind of packed that on there without blending it too much, because I wanted that kind of pure brightness. So I found that this is one of the best ways to do it, especially if you don't want to wait for the paint underneath to dry, because I'm a little impatient. Time for some stripes. So here I was painting one of my favorite birds, blue jay. So yeah, time to paint in those little stripes. So I was a little bored with the way that the crystal was looking. So I was looking for some sort of element to give it a little bit more of an interest factor. And so I decided to go with a sort of crackled look, as if the stone itself has all these little fractures and cracks inside that were caught by the light. So it ended up giving it a cool sort of lightning look. And basically this look I just achieved by taking some light blue paint, thinned it out a bit with some glazing medium, and just took a fine brush and started packing that on. So although I like the way that the crackles looked, I found that they looked a little too much like they were on the surface. So when those lines were dry, I made myself a nice glaze with a nice rich blue and just did a few layers of glaze on top of that to give it a bit more depth and make it appear that the crackles were actually inside. So now I'm doing the final step, which I left to last. I'm going to be making the white triangle that you see in the final piece. So I got a little ahead of myself, and instead of, because originally my plan was to have the triangle sort of in front of certain features and behind other features, but I got a little excited whenever I use painter's tape in order to create these nice crisp lines. I get really excited about peeling it off, so I just lose my head and go ahead and paint without really thinking about where I'm putting it. So I made the entire triangle on top. As I peeled off the paint, I realized, oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. But at least oil paint, because it does take a long time to dry, I was able to wipe the places away that I didn't want it. So I just took paper towel, like you can see here, kind of wiped it away. And since my painting underneath was actually dry, I was able to take a brush with a bit of like odorless paint thinner and was able to get the rest of that white off. So you would never even know that I kind of messed up in that department. This brings us to our finished piece. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and if you like what you see, please subscribe to see more. Thanks, guys.